Hello, welcome to the self-learning podcast by Dr. Sushma Singh. Let us start discussion on Unit 6, Models of Urban Growth, Concentric Zones, Sectors, Multiple Nuclei, Exploitative, Symbolic. And we start our discussion with topic Other Models. The above described models of the city's spatial structure of economic activities and residential areas are some of the major studies of internal structure of city. One such study made by Mann, who tried to apply Bourge's concentric zone and Hoyt's sector model to three industrial towns in England, Huddersfield, Nottingham and Sheffield. He assumed that because of the prevailing wind direction from the southwest, the higher class housing would be in the southwestern part of the city, while industries would be located in the northeast of the CBD. Some significant conclusions of his study are as the higher class residences are not concentric of CBD but are located on one side of a few pockets of the city. Like sector model, he observed that the industries are found in sectors along main lines of communication. Further, he called the lower class housing area the zone of older housing, whereas area of higher class housing are relatively modern houses and situated away from the industries and smoke. Unlike Bourgeois and Hoyt, he also describes the role of local governance in slum clearance and gentrification. As a result of this, the emergence of large council estates protect the interest of working class and lower income group in the city. Mann's study is different from the existing models, as his observation is based on European city, which has its own historicity and social structure, which is different from American cities. Secondly, he suggests that even though a small sample, we can generalize the fact. His model shows that a variety of approaches are possible to the study of urban structures. Now let us move to the next point, symbolic approach. Another model to study urban structures is the symbolic approach. It developed a corrective to the ecological and functional approach to the study of the internal structure of cities. Walter Ferry first contributed to this approach and analyzed the land uses in central Boston. He has highlighted the importance of symbolism as an ecological variable, which emphasized the independent role of social symbolism as a major force in shaping the internal structure of cities, particularly with respect to historically meaningful public buildings and open spaces. Later on, major development in this approach occurred with Whitley's two studies of Asian cities, the Chinese cities and the Japanese cities. According to him, ancient cities developed in terms of their religious or cosmological meanings. The site of city or particular structure has its own symbolic meanings and is regarded as the center of the world. The alignment of the walls, gates, roads, and other designs often reflects its context. The structure consists of temples, power. Similarly, modern skyscrapers have become as much a symbol of corporate activities as a place of work in modern cities. Now let us conclude the unit. All the above four theories of city structure and growth pattern developed during the early 20th century and is based on the study of the American urban society. The major factor of changes in city structure and organization due to population growth, changing technology, growing economic activities, transportation, etc. All these models assume that as cities grow, the residential areas move outwardly and the concentration of people in suburbs increases invariably. Both concentric and sectors model are similar in this assumption, however vary in spatial distribution. Harris and Ullman in multi-nuclei theory also explain this proposition through the concept of mini-center, which also changes with time. They reject the overemphasis on one commercial center. They also agreed on differential residential patterns based on their class. The first three theories explicitly locate lower, middle, and higher classes residential areas. Similarly, exploitative model describes three different cities in semicircular pattern, representing three different classes and levels of exploitation. The residential pattern is based on land value or rent, but depicts the kind of social hierarchy and mutual relationship of city. Hence, all these cities' structure and growth explains the rigid social segregation found in different cities. Recent changes and transformation in urban structure in the above theories have altered the basic assumptions and expected outcomes of these classical models. These changes include the impact of the automobile population growth after the Second World War, housing construction, shopping facilities, social and industrial mobility. Hyatt, in his review, also observed that the apparent rigidity of older patterns in the city has been substantially reduced by increases in city size, personal income, and mobility. Barry and Berry synthesizes the transformation in three aspects of research to understand the internal structure of the city. These are urban population densities, the socio-economic pattern of neighborhood, and the changing pattern of retail and service business. Now let us wind up the session, and we have come to the end of the unit. Thank you very much for engaging yourself with the self-learning podcast.